That's a hell of a way to start a video. Me eating. Isn't that pleasant? I'm doing a Redeye Raw because I can't decide what to do right now. That's a hell of a way to start a video. Maybe I'll do some responses or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do some Fallout. Still debating what I'm going to do. In all honesty, I'm honestly not sure what the fuck I'm doing. So, I figured I'd just go live and obnoxiously eat in front of the camera and see if I come up with any ideas. I did a little bit more editing on the big long Rio video today. It's a long video, and I gotta make sure the screenshots all line up properly and stuff, so it takes a lot more editing than my regular videos, so I keep procrastinating it. I did that judge review earlier, so that's pretty good. I'm kind of craving OVAs lately, so I thought about doing a Redeye Theater with some OVAs, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do that too. Still debating, in all honesty. I thought about doing a Redeye Raw on a serious topic. Decided, I don't know. We'll see. Don't know what topic to talk about, really. It's really just one of those days where I'm just kind of bored and procrastinating. I also almost watched Phantom Menace today. I haven't watched it. I was thinking about it, because I did watch the original trilogy, you know, a week or two ago, maybe 3. I don't remember exactly. I think it was a week ago, maybe 2. I think it was 1. I think it was a week ago. My friend just finished KOTOR 2. So that's pretty cool. KOTOR 2 is obviously not as good as KOTOR 1. And I think I make that comparison now, where I say that comparing Fallout 3 to Fallout New Vegas for me is like comparing KOTOR 1 to KOTOR 2. Where I think that, you know, 2 is still good, and New Vegas is still good, but I just think that 1 is drastically better, and Fallout 3 is drastically better. Because I want to do another run on New Vegas, but every time I think about playing New Vegas, I just end up playing Fallout 3 again instead. But I do need to do an NCR playthrough. I also need to continue Fallout 4, but I'm in that simulation thing, and that's not really gripping to me. In Far Harbor. I'm also downloading my, what's called my responses stream from the other day, so that I can re-edit it like I do before. Do you guys think I should unlist that, or should I leave it up? Because I unlisted the first one, right? Like, since I'm going to re-edit it, should I unlist the original, so that people need a link to find it, and that it's not too, like, repetitive on the channel or something? I don't know. Or should I just leave it up, so there's more content there? It's my second meal of the day. I had a steak earlier, and now I have some ravioli. I guess I could do some more of the Dumb Angel reading. Oh, I could also do more Yorotsuki Doji manga theater. There's just so many things I could do that I just haven't. No, I'm going to go into the Discord chat, because why the fuck not? If somebody wants to join in, they can do that too. Why the fuck not? Tonight I'm watching Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, great movie. I've seen the trailer to that, I think. I think I wanted to watch it at one point, but I never got around to it. It's one of those Saturdays where you just gotta figure out what the fuck you're gonna do with yourself. And by yourself, I'm referring to myself. I could work even more on the Rio video, but again, there's a lot of little intricate things I need to do to make sure it lines up, and that gets boring after a minute. You know, when I cook Chef Boyardee raviolis, I don't just cook the raviolis. I usually put in sauce, cheese, and seasoning, just to make it a little better. Kind of guy I am. Huh. I guess I could also be scripting more of the Sarge review for Boogie. See what I mean? Now, that's the other thing, is there's so many things I can do, but I can't make up my fucking mind. For some reason, I remember seeing the first Ice Age film in theaters. I did rewatch it. It's not a masterpiece, but it's still my favorite of the franchise. Oh yeah, it's easily the best. The sequels aren't that good. I'm gonna blow my nose. Huh. Yeah, it's been snowing like a motherfucker out here in Utah. The snow is still pretty thick. Hopefully it's not too bad tomorrow when I go into work, because I gotta work tomorrow. Any cheese in my beard? No, we're good. I need to get my fucking beard trimmed, I think. It's getting scraggly. So if I get it trimmed down, obviously I'm gonna keep it. I just want to maybe do some maintenance on it. Huh. Yesterday I saw We're the Millers, surprisingly great modern day comedy. That movie's okay. I remember I liked it when I saw it, but it's not something that made me, like, crave to go back and see it again. But it's alright. Huh. What else is there to talk about? That is the question. I did order the first movie in the Atlas Shrugged movie trilogy, so I bought that. I also bought the UK cut of Yorotsukidoji 4. I know the UK cut only has the one episode, and I already have Yorotsukidoji 4, so it's like, why? But, I don't know. I felt like it'd be interesting to compare and contrast, maybe for Discs in Depth at some point, or something of that nature.
Hey, Future the Redeye, just saw you just go live.
What's up, Horizons? I'm just bored just sitting here chit-chatting, so if there's anything you want to talk about, by all means.
I'm doing pretty good. Just waiting for March.
Waiting for what?
Just been waiting for March, honestly. Waiting for the shit to warm up in my area.
Yeah, it's pretty snowy out here.
Oh, wow.
We got like maybe a foot of snow, maybe 2.
That's Utah for you.
Oh, yeah. It's usually not this snowy this late.
I'm happy that I got into college, though. That was the one big thing that was this week for me, you know?
Okay, well, I'm going to warn you, dude. Getting into college, you're going to deal with a lot of woke shit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But what if I come out and be the next Michael Crichton or whatever?
So, are you going in for writing?
More or less technology. So, more like Steve Jobs or something, you know?
Okay, do you have a particular job in mind with it, or do you just going into it in general?
In general, try to get IT, okay. You know?
I'm going to be honest with you. To me, I don't know if that's the greatest idea. If you have a particular field that you're looking for, that can work. But I'm going to tell you, college education is drastically exaggerated in how helpful it is nowadays, especially. That's it. If it works out for you, great. I'm just letting you know my honest thoughts.
It's okay to wear your honest spots, man. I know I just want once I'm done with my getting my certificate or degree, I'll fuck it out again.
Well,
Probably
you know, you're
Tennessee, you know.
You're probably gonna have to take a class that's about woke bullshit. You know that, right? Like most colleges require some sort of diversity class.
Yeah, probably. And who gives a shit? I've been in like fucking plague, you know.
Okay, I'm just letting you know what you're in for if nobody prepared you.
Oh yeah. For Christ's sake, you know, whatever's said in that room, I don't give a fuck.
Okay. A couple days ago, I saw a couple episodes of 1995 English dub of Dragon Ball. It's great. Who did that one? Is that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who did that one.
It's not for kids.
No, it's not for kids. It wouldn't have been. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell, we are also live on YouTube. So I'm reading the chat.
Okay. Another thing is, 38 years ago today, Tears for Fears released their album Songs from the Big Show.
I'm not familiar with that one.
They're an 80s band.
Okay, I'm not a big music guy, and I know I say that all the time, and then I talk about music and constantly reference music and stuff, so haha funny, but
Yeah, and I used to do a series on my channel called Retrospective, which looked at everything, gaming, topics, certain things in history and stuff, you know? But I stopped doing that after a while because I just lost interest.
Yeah.
The biggest video I've done so far is just like the special video I did right before the 2022 election.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got only 25 views, so I feel like my vids are shit or no one watches my shit.
Well, here's the thing. When you're starting out, don't focus on that kind of shit.
No.
Like me, I make videos for me, no one else. I don't give a shit what people think about my videos, especially now. I used to care a little more, but ever since the Rio video, I'm now just brutally honest about fucking everything, and I will be absolutely open, like all the political stuff I'll say, right? You know, like, I am very vehemently, openly anti-leftist, and I don't like anything that the left typically has to offer.
Here's the thing. Let's stay on the political train. I was denied for a gun card.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Because I'm a fucking ass-beat.
Yeah. And that's wrong. You should absolutely be able to keep and bear arms. It's your fucking right.
But Illinois, meanwhile, I'm surprised I wasn't denied into college saying, "Oh, you're too autistic. Go to dumb school."
Well, the thing is, you got to remember, the state you live in is one of the most notoriously anti-gun states there is, so of course they have a bunch of barriers for everyone. It's really difficult to get a gun there. I won't say which state you live in unless you volunteer it, because we're live. That's the kind of...
I'm not going to dox my state.
Right, I figured. That's why I'm not saying it out loud. But the state you live in is one of the most notoriously anti-gun states, and so that really doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, I just hope Beetlejuice gets voted out.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
She's up in like a few days, you know.
You know, if people know what you're talking about, people will pretty easily be able to figure out where that is.
Yeah, but they still don't know where the fuck I went. Well, they know what state, but not.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I mentioned the state I live in, but I never mentioned the county or city. I recently found Kick-Ass on Blu-ray at a library book sale. Okay, very cool. Kick-Ass is
at my local library, they were having a lot of Tom Clancy books.
Tom Clancy? Yeah, you seem to like Tom Clancy, because you were talking about him before on the Discord.
Yeah, I think he makes space content, or he's just that detailed, you know?
Like, the only Tom Clancy stuff I've ever experienced have been, like, the, the Rainbow Six games.
Yeah, but he's done more than...
Oh, no, Ghost Recon. I played Ghost Recon a little bit back in the day, but not really. Was he Splinter Cell, too?
Yeah.
Okay, I've played Splinter Cell, briefly. I played a demo of it.
Someday there'll be... I feel like the woke era is gonna die soon, you know? Look at all the movies box office bombing, you know? I
mean, that's hopeful of you. I'm actually pretty concerned about how things will go, not just because of that, but because of plenty of...
Oh, yeah, watch the woke remake of the Will Memory, B-O-M-B.
Right, but...
I mean, a new movie just came out, Cocaine and Pale, and it already beat the fourth Ant-Man and the Wasp film or the third one. I don't
You know,
know.
it's funny. I've heard a lot of people say that new Ant-Man and the Wasp was like really, really bad. Like, I had no interest in seeing it to begin with, so I haven't. Again, I'm not a big Marvel guy in general, especially like later
Same
Marvel.
here. I'm not a huge Marvel fan after they went woke, you know.
I mean, I was already burning out on Marvel before that, but yeah, especially
I
after
stopped
that.
after Endgame. I really stopped after
I think the
Endgame.
last one I saw new in theaters was Infinity War. And then later on, I did, of course, watch what is it, No Way Home, but that was because a friend of mine pressured me into watching it, and it turned out it was decent.
Yeah, I have that on Blu-ray, and that's probably the most recent Marvel film I'll ever get. But this Cocaine Bear looks very fucking hilarious. It reminds me of that Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah. Yeah, Snakes on a Plane
And
is fun.
I was a little kid when Snakes on a Plane came out, but all I remember is how everyone on the internet was talking about it. You couldn't go anywhere with someone talking about snakes on a plane, you know?
Uh-huh.
That's probably gotta be done for when I feel when I like it as an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, I suppose we could always watch some Snakes on a Plane on Redeye Theater. We'll see. I do own it on DVD, so... And the DVD only works on my computer for some reason. Like, I think there's something wrong with the disc.
It's probably disc squad.
Could be.
Warner Brothers and New Line were notorious for having disc squad problems back in the day between 2006 and 2010. So if it doesn't work on your computer, you better be prepped for Plan B.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, I like a few authors. I'm influenced by Tom Clancy in this book. Michael Crichton was pretty good too, you know.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people don't realize that Jurassic Park was a book before it was a film, you know.
I thought most people knew that, but I mean, then again, I don't talk to most people about a lot of things, so you know.
Yeah.
You know, John Hammond is a completely different character in the book than he is in the movie. Like, he's a piece of shit in the book.
Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah.
Dr. Malcolm or someone else?
No, John Hammond, the guy who runs the
Oh,
park.
the bald guy.
The old guy, the one with the
Yeah.
cane. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a jerk in the book.
Yeah. In the book, he like doesn't even give a shit when his grandkids are in danger. Like he's not shown in like a sympathetic light at all in the book, and then I think he dies at the end of the first book. I'm not sure on that, but I think he does.
Wow. And I know he just died in the film. That could be done for that Redeye Theater, Jurassic Park-a-thon.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I like the first 4 Jurassic Park movies to varying degrees. Like I like Jurassic Park 1. That's easily the best. I mean, I don't think anyone.
I do not have any of the Jurassic Park films. I mean, I had it on VHS. I had the first one on VHS with the tape guy even. And I've seen Jurassic World all the way through. Bits of part of Fallen Kingdom, but I have not seen Dominion yet.
I have no interest in seeing Dominion. Fallen Kingdom was terrible. Jurassic World is fun and fine, but it's basically just a soft remake of Jurassic Park. In the same way that Force Awakens was a soft remake of New Hope.
Why on that? Jurassic Park 3 was actually the first one I actually saw when I was
I think Jurassic.
I thought it was good.
I think Jurassic Park 3 is one of the most massively underrated movies. Did I include that in my top 10 underrated movies list? Because if I didn't, I think I did.
I think you did.
Yeah, I think I did. Okay, I better have, because Jurassic Park 3 gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I honestly think out of the sequels, it's the best one. Because, like, the original's still the best.
I thought The Lost World was a little bit weak.
The thing is, The Lost World has some pretty good moments. It's just, a lot of the movie just is kind of drags. Like, and not a lot happens for, like, the beginning of the movie. Like, the first, like, hour of the movie is just a lot of people talking. I like, the scene with, like, the T-Rex eating the person and then the blood goes into the waterfall. I think that's cool.
T-Rex!
I like the scene where the T-Rex, poking its head in the tent. I like the stay out of the long grass and the raptors are getting people. I like that scene. And I like the T-Rex being, like, rampaging through the city. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool.
I can really give some info on the first film. It was actually one of the... Well, you want to understand this because it's more about audio, but it was, like, the first film done with DTS, digital sound.
I might have known that. I don't remember if I knew that.
Yeah.
If I did, it wasn't something I committed to memory, you know. So
yeah, they're good films, you know.
Well, I mean, the first one's really good.
The first four.
Well,
Fallen Kingdom, I've seen bits and pieces of it, and just
So the thing is
and
the first one is the only one I would say is genuinely like a great movie that's well written, well directed, well edited. Like it's all good.
Probably because I think Biden was behind some of it, you know.
Maybe, but the second one, The Lost World, I think is good when it's good, but when it's not, it's fucking boring. And then Jurassic Park 3, I think is really good when it's really good. There's like the beginning's really good, the birdcage scene at the end is really good. I do think there is some kind of dumb stuff in the middle, like the little kid and how just amazing he is at survival is kind of stupid.
Oh yeah, which one you're talking about? I'm trying to.
Jurassic Park 3. There's the kid Eric. He's the whole reason.
Oh yeah, that dude who all of a sudden just takes T-Rex or some shit.
Well, yeah, how did he get T-Rex pee? And he's like, oh, you don't want to know. It's like, yes, I fucking do. It makes no sense that you could get away with that alive.
How did you fucking survive on that?
Yeah. So there's some stuff there that's kind of dumb. It doesn't break the movie for me, but it is pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I also think that the drama with the fact that Alan and what's the chick's name? Ellie aren't dating anymore, and like there's a whole like thing with that where like, you know, it's like, oh, they're like a lost love effectively, and now she's married to someone else and has a kid. I think that's kind of stupid, but
yeah. Another fan about Crichton, he also did the drama Strain and I think the original Westworld.
That sounds right. I've never read any of those, or if there's movies, I've never seen them.
Okay. Yeah, he's done a lot of shit. You know?
No, I mean authors I like. There's obviously H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft is easily my favorite author. I would also say Ayn Rand is one of my favorite authors.
Okay. I haven't watched a lot of listened to the books. I mean, I grew up on a lot of J.K. Rowling. You know?
Okay. I mean, I never really was super big on Harry Potter. I liked the first two movies when I saw them in theaters. I liked those. After that, I sort of lost interest.
I had a sister that grew up on the books, so I know pretty much all of them.
I remember I read the first book as a kid. I don't remember if
I read the first book as a kid.
I don't think I read any of the other books, but I saw the first two movies, and I really liked the second movie when I was younger. But
okay, let me tell you another underrated movie I think in my collection, but I have yet to even seen.
Okay.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah, that's a fun movie. Yeah, I like Scott Pilgrim.
I think that one had very bad studio interference.
So have you seen it then?
Only like a bit of the film when I was flipping through channels when it was
okay, because I think it's a bit odd you would describe it as underrated if you haven't seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
there's a few of the films I've seen that I think, you know, it's all white, decent, like Night at the Museums. Those movies were good, you know.
I only ever saw the first one. The sequels didn't really look that appealing to me. I liked the first one, but...
Yeah, directed by Sean Reddy, who ultimately went on to do Free Guy, I believe, which was fucking hilarious, you know.
I saw the trailers for that. It looked kind of generic, but I never saw it.
Okay. Yeah. I think, yeah. What else can I say? I mean, that movie I grew up watching was Wayne's World. That's a comedy gold.
Yeah, I've seen Wayne's World. Yeah, that one's fun. I've never seen the sequel, but I've seen the first one.
Okay. So yeah, you've had a lot of things in your underrated movie list, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay to say some movies are underrated, you know? There's definitely a lot of movies that are overrated, though.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, speaking of underrated, I think I know what I might do after this stream. I might play some more Duke Nukem Forever.
Go ahead, you know? Yeah. Enjoy it.
I'm going to do that. That game is good. And,
yeah.
Like, it had a flawed production. There's some issues with it on a technical level. But a lot of the actual criticisms people had for it, besides the technical ones, are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if people are criticizing it purely on the long development cycle, the graphics, the load times, and the linear structure of it, those are valid criticisms.
Have you ever seen another? This is another comedy film I'm going up with. Have you ever seen a movie called Dodgeball?
Yeah, I saw Dodgeball.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's not like one of my favorites, but it's fun.
No, it ain't one of my favorites, but it's it's decent.
Yeah, it's fun. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. You can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. Like, if you can reach and hack a DVD player, you can dodge a ball.
Okay.
Okay, that last one was a joke.
No, I know. I gathered. I figured it was a reference to my most popular video.
How to reach and hack a DVD player. Yeah. I have never done that to my Blu-ray player because I don't have any imported Blu-rays or DVDs.
Well, Blu-rays are a little trickier to do that with.
Luckily, most of my Blu-rays, since I'm in the States, they're Region A and they have the original versions and not censored or anything, you know?
Yeah, and there are, in the UK, a lot of Blu-rays they release are not region-locked anymore.
Yeah. So, but if the release over here in the US is region-free and your release over in the UK is censored, you can always import the US version, you know?
Yeah, but I think that the US doesn't really do region-free Blu-rays all that often.
Most of my Buena Vista Blu-rays are region-free, so some of my Universal titles, even the new
ones. That's cool.
Although No Way Home is region A locked.
Yeah, of course it is.
So people couldn't get it real easily, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. What do you honestly think is the worst movie ever made?
Exorcist II: The Heretic.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
It's fucking boring. It's so bad. Like, because The Exorcist 1 and The Exorcist 3 are both great. But Exorcist
I know
2...
The Exorcist 3 and Nostalgia Critic did a review on it, you know.
I don't think I've seen his review, but it's a good movie. It's not as good as 1, but it's still a good follow-up. And but 2...
I think the worst movie ever made was Food Fight, but the worst movie I ever seen, the fucking Emoji Movie. I can't believe that movie got fucking made.
Oh, hey, Steven.
What's up? I just wanted to stop by for a little bit.
Okay.
I was just talking about movies and book office and shit.
Basically, I'm just bored and couldn't decide what to do, so I just went live and just kind of see where it takes me.
Lol.
You ever play Doom?
Of course.
Doom?
That's nice. There's even a thing to speed one Doom.
I mean, most games can be speedrun.
There's also
I've only played
Doom.
the 2016 Doom. If you said Doom,
yeah, he said Doom.
Okay, yeah, I only played the 2016 fucking game. God damn it. So yeah, that's the only thing I played.
I've never played Doom other than classic Doom, and that was on a virtual emulator, you know.
Okay, well, I've got all the Doom games, and I quite enjoy the Doom series. So, I mean, granted, I don't have all of them because I don't have the 2 RPGs that were released on Java phones because those are like impossible to get now.
RPGs?
Yeah.
Doom?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Doom RPG and Doom RPG 2, and they're literally like they're games for flip phones, and they run on Java. They're built in the engine of Doom 1, but they added in like dialogue. It's hardly an RPG, but they tried.
It sounds like, wait, is it like a first-person dungeon crawler kind of deal?
Yeah.
On the Doom engine? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sure. Well, one, it sounds impossible to play them officially now.
Oh, like
yeah, no, you can find emulators, I think, but they're really hard to get running. I know that Yaweasel did a playthrough of them, and that's the only reason I'm familiar with them because I watched his full playthrough. I think he only did the first one, but I know of them because of that.
I can't imagine they're very long if they're for a Java flip.
Yeah, no.
No, they're probably like maybe 2 or 3 hours each.
Yeah.
Deca Striker, what do you think is the worst movie ever made?
That's a loaded ass question. Objectively, I'm sure there's a lot, but if you're talking from personal taste,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if we're going by technical merit, there's a lot that could be considered that bad, but I guess for personal hatred, I really didn't like Its Path. That's probably the shittiest song.
Oh yeah, I think that it was pulled from theaters that.
What movie?
Its Path. It's okay. So you know SNL.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had like this, and bear with me, they had like this. I don't know what you would call like a gender ambiguous character.
Uh-huh.
Would that be called androgynous? I don't fucking know. But they had like this character who the whole point was you couldn't guess the gender of it, and he was like this really fat, pudgy, dorky character with like glasses.
Uh-huh.
And he got his own movie in the 90s.
Okay.
It's really bad, and you know, I mean, if I sent you a trailer, you'd probably cringe.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia article of it right now, and it does not look good, just based on the image and the description so far.
Some of the jokes are really, really bad. Like, you know, like there's a scene where he falls down the stairs, he's like, "Oh no, my nuts are crushed," and then he literally pulls out fucking peanuts.
Oh, God, that's a bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no. Really sophisticated sense, and it's just so weird. There's like this dude is obsessed with him, even though he looks so much like a dude, and then he tries dressing up as a woman. It's fucking weird. Like, it's one of those bad movies. It's not just badly acted, but it makes you uncomfortable. It's really weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. The only 3 good S&M films were
S&M?
The Blues Brothers. SNL, excuse me.
S&M.
Were the Blues Brothers, Wayne's World, and Coneheads. Those are all I've seen.
I've never seen any of those, to be quite honest. But I hear the Blues Brothers is a classic.
Wayne's World's an SNL movie.
Didn't they make a sequel as well?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be 5?
Yeah, Wayne's World's good. I haven't seen the second one, but...
And I think the weakest one is A Night of the Roxbury. You know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That one I actually do kind of... It's alright. It's fine from what I remember. It's not great, but it's okay. I mean, I'm not really into SNL, to be quite honest, especially now. They're just kind of like fucking hack jobs.
I've only really seen the...
SNL it's just shit now.
I've seen like the... Go ahead.
It's not even great anymore. I think the last major thing that I saw was when Elon Musk was hosting it, and even before that, was when David Byrne was performing right before COVID.
Okay. Well, the only SNL season I've actually seen is season 1, and it has some jokes I really like, but a lot of it's also kind of... Like, there are parts I fast forward because it's fucking boring.
Yeah, some of the skits are a little boring. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of it, but I mean, since we're on the topic I'd mentioned, yeah. They go for, like, a lot of, like, supposedly controversial jokes that are actually very much so on the side. I think you know what I'm talking about. And that are not really controversial. And, yeah, it's just, it's very boring, to be honest.
Well,
I think Billie Eilish hosted one, so
God.
that should give... Yeah, that should give
I
you...
cannot stand Billie Eilish.
I can't either.
My dad...
You know, she posted like an image with
the cover reminds him of The Exorcist. It's that bad.
Well, I was about to say, you know, there's like because I don't know if you guys know, she's dating like this guy who's like 11 years older with her, which, you know, to be honest, if we're talking about decade gap ages, I think 10's like not that weird. But she made it really fucking weird because when they were going to a Halloween party, he dressed up like a balding old man and she dressed it up like a fucking baby. And that's
in the criminal justice system, sexually based on fantasy is considered especially heinous.
Okay.
I don't know. I also don't like her music very much at all.
She is shut. That's why she did Turning Red, because she wanted more people to hear her music, even though her music's...
I will say, like, the one thing that was actually really good on SNL that I saw, like, I've seen clips of, but never seen, like, I never watched the episodes it was in, just the segments. But you guys ever watched, like, any of the Norm Macdonald Weekend Updates? Those were great.
Oh yeah.
No, I never. No, I never. But I know Norm Macdonald was like a huge deal back then.
Norm Macdonald is great, dude. He's easily the best comedian who ever lived, and anyone who tells you otherwise is objectively wrong.
Well, I'm sure he is, but I just don't hear much of him anymore.
Well, maybe because he's dead.
Oh. Damn.
After all, Bob Saget directed Dirty Work, and
Norm Macdonald died recently too. Like he died back in when was it?
2021. And look it up now.
Yep.
Holy shit. Yeah. Was he like also an actor or?
He was a comedian. He had a couple of he had a film role in like Dirty Work. That's one of the movies he was in. He played the Grim Reaper in the first episode of Family Guy.
He did?
Yeah.
But his voice sounded the same from that first episode. The Grim Reaper's voice sounded the same from that first episode.
That's because it doesn't if you know how to if you know how the two actors, because I'm pretty familiar with both Norm Macdonald and Adam Carolla, so I can absolutely tell the difference. Norm Macdonald only voiced Death in the first episode. Every other time he's been voiced by Adam Carolla.
Why did they get rid of him?
I'm not
Was
sure.
Death supposed to be like a one-off character? Is that why?
I have no idea. I'm not sure what the casting choice was.
That's another thing. With Family Guy, they took Cleveland Brown and replaced him.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the voice actor that they got for him. I thought that Aziz, whatever the fuck his name is actually not that bad, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but it's bullshit that Mike Henry would step down like that and feel pressured to do so in the first place.
Well, okay. To be fair, when they asked about him and all that, when they asked Seth MacFarlane, I think it was like on this interview, and he was like on the Zoom end or some shit like that. When they asked him about representation, he's like, "Well, we're not really looking for that. We're really looking for the best person that's best for the job." So I could tell you that it was probably not like one of those kind of like changes, if you know what I mean.
I disagree.
Well, he sounds what?
I just disagree.
Do you think that there were some motives for that?
I think that Mike Henry was absolutely pressured by, not necessarily the production crew, but there was probably people on the production crew that did. But I think he was pressured by maybe the network and also by the fans, or quote-unquote fans, progressives and whatnot, into stepping down. I think that absolutely it was done.
But then wouldn't they take issue with the fact that, because isn't he the same actor that also voices Consuela?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do Consuela anymore.
Do you really think they're not going to?
Yes.
Why? Because of cultural appropriation and all that kind of bullshit?
Yes. And you know why they switched him out, right? Why?
And why did you think they switched out Mike Henry?
Oh, well, it's not why I think. It's because of fucking George Floyd.
Was the casting that recent for Aziz?
George Floyd is a crack addict.
Yes, well, he's not anymore. He's fucking dead.
Well, no. I'm not talking about George Floyd. I'm talking was the recast.
Yes.
For Mike Henry.
Yes.
As recent as what happened when George Floyd died, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes, that is. Let's see. Hold on. Let me double check. Let me make sure I'm not wrong. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I want to.
Right after Floyd died, all the cop shows went off the air. Cops.
Well, not just that, but also all of the Netflix and stuff started taking down episode. Yeah, it was because of George Floyd. This guy took over in 2021. It was because a bunch of streaming services were removing any episodes with blackface or offensive stuff regarding black characters and stuff like that. And so
they did that with the Gone with the Wind.
Okay, now that makes a little bit more sense because in The Office, I know that one of the writers said they regretted doing the blackface episode where that one segment where Dwight was about to have that one guy come in. That I don't think is on streaming anymore, just because of that one scene.
They cut that scene out. They did re-edit it on I think Peacock.
Oh, okay, so they did re-edit. I didn't think they would go out of the way.
Here's something though. Here's something I think is really cool. You ever seen Peep Show?
Peep Show?
Yeah.
No, sounds like Freak Show.
No. So Peep Show on Hulu still has the blackface intact in season 2, episode 1. So that was pretty cool because I was rewatching it. And I'm like, you know what? They had the balls to leave it in.
I mean, I don't know Peep Show, but I'm glad that they
recently.
What's that?
Didn't they Censor Sunny in Philadelphia for mocking.
Yeah, well, they cut several episodes got removed from Hulu. Yeah, the episode, and also like they're not going to be released on later home releases. So luckily, I have the older ones.
Okay, let me just say something real quick. Yeah. Going back to the guy thing, I don't think. Okay, even if the recasting was for that. Okay.
Yeah.
But even if that was the case, let's be real. I don't think MacFarlane would have made that decision. I don't think that he...
Why would you think that? Seth MacFarlane, like, he'll still make digs at woke stuff, but he's still a hardcore leftist, and has said that they're not going to do gay jokes anymore. Why would you think he would suddenly have principles when it comes to that?
Because he said in the interview, he's like, well, we're just looking for the best man for the job. I mean, I know you could just be saying that, well, but, I mean...
I suppose that could be... Like I said, Seth MacFarlane, he will still take digs that I wouldn't expect him to take. So I'll be fair with that. Like, he'll still make fun of trans stuff from time to time. So I'll give him that.
Not from time to time. He's made fun of it pretty recently. Like, the latest Christmas episode, where Lois is, like, the Grinch or something like that.
Uh-huh.
There's, like, a scene where, you know, they're setting up, like, you know, the fake ornaments of Jesus' birth. And he's like the little drummer then, because God forbid we call a boy a boy. Uh-huh. And then he's like, you know, I'm white, when's it going to be our turn? So, I think he still makes some digs.
Yeah, but he does, but at the same time, he also is pro-censorship when it's convenient to him. So the thing is Seth MacFarlane is very wishy-washy. I have more respect for him than a lot of other writers when it comes to current like cartoons because I
have more respect for Seth MacFarlane than honestly a little bit more than Trey Stone and Matt Parker, just because they're definitely picking a side now.
You mixed their last names, but yes. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing:
Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But the thing is. I agree with that. I actually think that he has more balls than them because they are very fucking cowardly and toe the line. He still has picked a side. He's still a leftist. Don't misjudge that. He just takes digs at everybody.
So you're saying that he picked a side, he's just more self-aware than those.
He picked a side, but nothing is sacred to him. He's still willing to make fun of stuff. But the thing is he has said that they're not going to do gay jokes anymore.
He said that?
Yes, I can't remember what interview or when it was exactly. Let me look it up. Guy not doing gay jokes.
What I put in Gen Mode.
Okay, so hold on. Apparently they backtracked it. Let me see if it was even Seth MacFarlane. Let's see. I read it on an article.
Okay,
so there's an article right now I'm reading. It's from The Independent, which is a leftist source, so there you go. When executive producer Alex Sulkin, so it was not Seth MacFarlane. It was an executive producer on the show. Said that being gay, he did it in a new and blah blah blah. Hold on, let's see. He said. I'm not going to read this whole article. But the point is apparently they've reversed their stance and are still doing gay jokes.
Well, the fact that it was even in consideration is a little concerning that they would get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, there's several characters that just wouldn't work if you got rid of gay jokes.
Stewie would just flat out not work.
Unless they went back to, like, evil mom-killing Stewie from, like, seasons 1 through 4.
Yeah, but that's not...
And the other thing that won't work now... It's the barbershop quartet going, yeah.
Also, they wouldn't, technically, since Herbert, even though he's a pedophile, he is gay, that character. Granted, we haven't seen that character in quite a while.
Okay. Well, I don't really watch Modern Family Guy all that much.
I pop it in every now and then, even though it's bad. It's actually
I don't even watch the show.
I've seen some clips from Modern Family Guy on YouTube that are pretty funny, but like I haven't seen any full episodes.
Speaking of Family Guy, I recently got one of the Fat Packs you mentioned. That's for part 3.
Okay.
The only thing I don't like is how the fucking discs are like
just plain white.
Like, you know how it's like stacked up?
Mm-hmm. And then the thing just comes out of the middle.
Yeah, it's really irritating.
Yeah, I know. I have those sets, you know. So I have.
But you're right. Having the original sets, you get away from censorship.
Well, yeah.
Or some bonus features are not available on the new sets.
Well, I don't think the Family Guy DVDs have many bonus features, to be honest. I think
they do. They have deleted scenes and stuff, but the big repackages have that too, because the big sets are just repackages of the smaller sets.
Because there were smaller sets that came out after the series got quote unquote canceled.
Yes.
I also think, honestly, to be fair, it's a little bit easier. I'm so glad I'm not a Beavis and Butthead fan, because home video releases for that are fucking horrible from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Where it's everything is cut. There's not even episodes on DVDs. People have had to buy bootleg tapes, bootleg Blu-rays. At least South Park and Family Guy, they're there.
Yeah.
But Beavis and Butthead, that shit's gone.
Yeah, so with Beavis and Butthead, the quote unquote complete collection was the biggest disgrace that ever got released for Beavis and Butthead. Because it was literally just a repackage of the Mike Judge collection, Volume 4 as they call it, which was the 2011 season, and the movie. That's all it is. It's sets that have already been released, repackaged, and still far from complete. The Time Life sets have a ton of episodes that are not on that set. So, it's not even complete.
And apparently, Mike Judge doesn't want to release some of the episodes that are out there.
Yes. You know that's one of my most popular videos on my channel is my whole discussion.
Well, I haven't checked out most of your Beavis and Butthead videos. I'm just familiar with it.
Doesn't even King of the Hill have the same problem?
No, every episode of King of the... No, it does not. King of the Hill recently had a complete series release.
I know the only season of King of the Hill that's out on Blu-ray is the last one. That's
on Blu-ray, yes, but the rest of the series does have a DVD release.
Kind of crazy.
That's like if you release a series and then stop releasing them every.
Well,
stop releasing them, or you have shelf that.
They kind of did that with Family Guy, where they
no. Do you know what else did that? The Simpsons.
Yeah, they stopped after season 17.
Yeah, They did season 20, then they did 17 because 20 they did for the 20th anniversary, and then they did season 17. So then for a while there was a gap. You would just have seasons 1 through 17 and then season 20, and then eventually they did do a release for seasons 18 and 19, which I have, which is fine because in all honesty, the first 20 seasons are the only ones I care about.
I grew up.
I never really got into the Simpsons, to be honest.
2000s. Although I didn't really care for the 2010s era.
The Simpsons is classic, Steven. You're missing out. There's some really good episodes.
I'm sure it's good. I just never saw it as a kid. I mean, maybe I should probably rectify that. I'm sure it's not too late.
Maybe we can do some Redeye Theater one of these days. But because I'm also showing it to my friend Rem, who has never seen it.
And is he like?
Yeah, he's been liking it. We're watching it in order. So we're on season 1 still.
But isn't The Simpsons one of those shows? And mind you, I haven't seen it. I'm just going by what I heard. Isn't it one of those shows that the newer seasons are not just Family Guy bad? They're really bad.
Yes.
They're really bad.
And the voice of Marge is whoa, she's I'm surprised they keep renewing the series. They're gonna live forever.
Right, but the thing is with The Simpsons, I think that the first 10 seasons are the golden age. Then 11 through 20 are still... I'd say 11 through 15 are still pretty good. And then 16... I
grew up between 11 and 17, I think.
But 16 through 20 are still decent. So it's 1 through 10, amazing. 11 through 15, really good. 16 through 20, decent. Everything after that starts to massively go downhill. 23 is where it became basically unwatchable for me.
Unwatchable?
Basically. There's a few okay episodes that came in the later seasons, but when I saw Treehouse of Horror 22 is when I realized I didn't like the show anymore. And that was in season 23. All I remember is Homer gets crippled, and they take him around on a dolly, a handcart. And at the end of the episode, he gets bitten by a radioactive spider and becomes crippled Spider-Man. And it did not make sense at all as a Halloween special. And it also just was really boring and also had dumb fart jokes and was not funny.
Where would you rank
the last one I remember watching was when let me think, is when Corsi's dad dies, and that was it.
Okay, that's a relatively new one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think from like 2015. That was it. That was the last major episode I saw on when it came out.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question though.
Okay.
Where would you rank The Simpsons compared to all the other adult cartoons we mentioned, like Family Guy, South Park, American Dad?
Okay.
Like, are those first 10 seasons that good?
Yes.
To elevate above like early South Park?
No, but close.
Wow, that's pretty close, actually. Damn.
So for me, ranking those shows, if we're talking in their prime, right? We were talking each of these series in their prime.
In their golden age,
yeah.
Yes.
So South Park is number 1, Simpsons is number 2, American Dad is number 3, Family Guy is number 4.
To be fair, I think people give American Dad a little bit more crap than it deserves.
That has not been my experience. From what I've seen, most people praise American Dad and acknowledge it's better than Family Guy.
But here's the thing that I don't like is that when American Dad later on, they kind of like changed Stan's personality to make him a little bit more like Peter, which I didn't like. I didn't like when American Dad tried to be like Family Guy.
Did they do that?
Then huh?
I didn't know they did that.
You didn't think that they made Stan a little bit dumber?
I said I didn't know that they did that. You need to learn to listen, Lou.
Okay, well, why? What was the last season of American Dad that you saw where...
I don't remember.
Okay.
I haven't watched new episodes of American Dad in quite a few years. The last one I distinctly remember is the one where Stan goes to jail in Mexico.
With his son, Steve?
Yeah.
And they pretend?
Yeah.
That episode was alright.
And he, like, hallucinates?
Yeah, with the cockroaches and shit?
Yeah, that's the last one I remember seeing.
That was an okay episode.
I don't know when that was, but that's the last time I consciously... I think I've seen some after that, but that's the last one I distinctly remember.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that episode I kind of like, but it's not that great. I don't know. Also, Steve got like a little bit too irritating for me as the series went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think still that at least with Seth MacFarlane, he's not as, I don't want to say egotistical as Matt Stone and Trey Parker, but I think that he's a little bit more... His humor's a little bit dumber lately in the newer seasons. Like, it's gotten a little softer. Like, not woke, but it's, like, very, like it doesn't feel like an adult cartoon at times with the newer seasons.
I don't know if I agree with that, because, like, I'll see clips from Family Guy and I'll be like, damn, they still are pretty dark. But maybe here's an analogy. I would say I'd say it feels like a teenage boy is writing it.
Yeah, that's actually probably a better comparison, to be honest. I also, in as minor as this sounds, I don't know if you know, or again, how recent of a season Family Guy you saw, but I mean, I don't like how they keep on shifting the bosses at the brewery too much. Like,
have they been doing that?
Well,
like, because I know Carrie Fisher died, obviously, so they had to get rid of Angela.
Right, I mean, obviously. And first there was that interracial couple,
okay,
which were just whatever characters, and then they replaced them with a black strict boss.
Okay.
And that's where they're at now. But I just don't understand why they feel the need to make a serious character out of just a brewery boss. It's kind of dumb. And they don't bring back the characters that they could bring back, like greased up deaf guy or the guy that's a big fat phony. They kind of just forget to do that. And they
to be fair, those are very one-note characters.
They are, but it's better than that, than the tired jokes of Doug and the fucking the boss character and shit like that.
Doug? Which one's Doug?
Doug is like so there's an episode where Stewie has like this.
Is that the one with the guy who's voiced by Jerry from Rick and Morty?
I think so. He's like this baby that's also supposed to be very snobby and competes with Stewie.
Yeah, okay, that's the one I was thinking of.
And they kind of run that joke to the ground a little bit too much.
Oh, okay.
Late Family Guy and South Park have a running down to the ground kind of joke standard. Like with South Park, it's the fucking Integrity Farms, which I'm getting a little bit sick of. It was funny at first.
I disagree. I don't think it was ever funny.
It was not hateable at first.
It was. I disagree.
It was a good one episode joke, I think.
Maybe as a one-off, but no, I honestly never cared for it.
Okay, I mean that's to each their own, but I think afterwards it really became hateable because they just started making seasons about it, and then the problem was that became Randy's personality.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I will say, it wasn't as egregious at first, and it definitely took a while to get to the point where it was fucking ridiculously irritating to me.
And as minor as it sounds, I think they kind of ruined Tally's character by bringing him back because he kind of had a funny but ending.
Did Tally really have a character, though? I mean...
He didn't, but it was kind of funny, that one ending, where it was kind of like that intervention with Butters.
What, a million little fibers?
Yeah. And he, like, got sober.
Uh-huh.
Kind of funny, but also kind of a sweet ending. And then they just bring him back and make him a pothead again.
That didn't really bother me, but Tally's also very one... Like, with Tally, I think the best episode with Tally is just the original Tally.
With the game console?
Yeah, because the whole point of Tally that I thought was funny is, like, they lead you to believe that he's, like, has these abilities that he gains when he smokes weed, that he gets, like, you know, really strong and good when he smokes weed.
He just gets really high.
Yeah, and, like, it always plays the Popeye the Sailor Man theme when he does it, too, which I thought was really funny. And, like, the whole point of the character was supposed to be just, like, a fuck you about, like, introducing new characters into shows. And that's why they had, like, the fake commercials. Yeah, they had the fake commercials, you know, with, like, the I Love Tally t-shirts and the I Hate Tally t-shirts.
Yeah. I will say, though, even though it was a one-off joke at first, they kind of... I kind of love the episode with Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, I like that one. That's A Million Little Fibers.
Yeah. No. That was different.
No?
That was a new... Because the episode you're talking about...
No, it wasn't...
The console
Hold on. A Million Little Fibers. Yeah, I'm right.
Well, yeah, but that's different from the game console. That wasn't his first appearance.
Yeah, but I mentioned... No, I never said it was his first... What? What are you talking about?
You didn't say that. You
No! Shut the fuck up and listen to me. I have it on fucking recording. You said the one with Oprah, and I said, yeah, Shut up and listen! Okay. Shut up and listen! And you said, the one with Oprah, and I said, yes, A Million Little Fibers, and you said, no, that's a different one.
Okay, but you said your favorite original episode.
Yes, but I wasn't saying they were the same thing.
Okay, I got it confused. That's all there is to
it. All right.
You're so hard about being right.
Fuck yeah, because I'm right.
Okay. But anyways, yeah, no. But that episode, okay, that was when South Park took a little bit of a risk. Let's be real.
I mean, that's far from the only time.
Well, I mean, I know, I'm just...
Like, I would say that the Muhammad stuff was them legitimately taking a risk because it was right after a guy got killed for doing Muhammad stuff. Which is why those episodes got banned.
Are you talking about the one where they meet their... mind you, I don't remember them by name for the most part. I'm not going to lie.
It's called 200 and 201. That's all they're called.
Okay.
It's the ones where, like, a bunch of characters come... I think I scared off Horizons with my shouting.
The adults are speaking. Lol.
But sometimes I gotta get my words in, and sometimes I gotta be a dick about it. Just the kind of guy I am.
You're such a hard-on about being right. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes.
I mean...
I'm egotistical. What can I say?
Lol. But where were we?
Tally? Something? I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about South Park's risk. Yeah. Have you never seen 200 and 201? Those are the two that got banned originally.
Was that the one... That wasn't the one where they met their Middle Eastern counterparts, right?
No, No, the one where they met their Middle Eastern counterparts is called Osama bin Laden Has Farty Pants.
Is that the one I saw? Let me see.
The
200.
200 and 201, it starts out with him calling Tom Cruise a fudge packer, and then he threatens to sue the town, and then all the celebrities that they've talked shit about come to sue the town.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Because it got banned immediately after it aired. But it's on the season 14 DVD. Maybe I'll do that on Redeye Theater one of these days, although the uncut version I have on Blu-ray, which I can't do Blu-rays on Redeye Theater, so we'd have to watch the censored versions.
Okay.
Or the censored version of 201, which 201 has only officially been released censored, but there is an uncensored leak online, which is where the bootleg Blu-ray I have that has the uncensored version of it on came from.
Well, wait. If you have now... Oh, right, it's bootleg. Okay.
Well, it's a Blu-ray, though, so my disc drive doesn't play Blu-rays, so we can't do it on Redeye Theater with the uncut version.
Did you get that Blu-ray from Sloppy Seconds?
No, and again, I don't like to say the name of the sites I use on YouTube because I don't want those sites to get taken down.
Do you really think it'll... Okay, I'm not going to name the site again, even though it was already said. Do you really think they'll be taken down, though?
It's possible. Enough people start talking about it, they'll figure it out.
I mean, fair, but I've seen... I'll respect that, but... I'm just saying. I mean, I've seen.
But no, that's not where I got it from. I got it from eBay.
Oh, okay.
And it claims it was like a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and that it's actually official. It's not. It's a straight up lie. It's a bootleg. But
like it's a PDR and everything.
Yeah.
Because there are bootlegs.
Yeah, and like, granted, it could be like the thing is there are official Blu-ray Rs, but like. That's not what that is. You know what I mean? Like, it's very clearly a bootleg. But the thing is,
Amazon does sell official Blu-ray Rs.
Yeah,
but that one's not.
But it was with I remember Ethan Blair told me about it and said it was an official release of it, and I'm like, it's not official. I've never heard anything about this, and the reason I get so like, because I know a lot about South Park. I basically used to be a South Park walking encyclopedia, so that's why I know which. Which I know, like, for the first, let's say, 20 seasons, I know every episode title, not necessarily in order, I don't know the exact order of the episodes, but if you were to give me a line, chances are I would be able to tell you the episode and season it's from.
God damn, that's some dedication.
Right, which is why I get angry when people question my intelligence on South Park, or my knowledge on South Park.
I questioned your South Park knowledge.
Yes, you did. You whore.
But fuck, that's funny. But wow. So anything after season 20, it's not a blur, but you just don't care.
And also, I haven't seen season 24 or 25, and I haven't seen the post-COVID specials, so those ones I just haven't seen. And season 20, I think I've only seen once, maybe twice. And then, like, but seasons, like, 1 through... And, like, even then, like, when we start to get to, like, 18 and 19, it does get a little fuzzy, but I could still probably pull it off. But the first, like, 17 seasons, I can easily do without question, because I've seen them all so many times.
Damn. I mean, I rewatch South Park a lot, but one of the things I do is because we have DirecTV, and I'm trying to get the Blu-rays of the seasons. I only have the movie on Blu-ray.
I have the...
You have the Blu-ray of the show?
I have the Blu-rays of seasons 1 through 4, is what I was going to say. And then I have the Blu-rays for, I think, 18, 19, and possibly 20? I can't remember. But I have the Blu-ray and DVD for the first 4 seasons.
Didn't you show recently, because I saw your recent DVD update, you got one of the COVID specials. I think you got the third one.
It's yes, the post-COVID. So I've seen the other COVID specials, which was the entirety of season 24. So I have seen season 24. Never mind. Season 24 was just the first 2 COVID specials. The pandemic special and the vaccination special. I've seen both of those. didn't really care for them. There's a few jokes here and there I liked. I was a lot less harsh when I first saw them because I was still fanboying and still under the impression that there was no bad South Park. I am no longer under that illusion. So.
I think that's bad South Park lately,
yes.
Especially. But even back then, like, I didn't really care for, like, there's not, some of the episodes aren't bad, but some of the episodes, like the fucking, what was the VR one?
Oh, Grounded Vindaloop. Yeah, that's one of my least favorite. I don't like that one.
It's one of those episodes that if it's on, I'll try to find something else to watch. It's fine, but it's not really that entertaining. I like the Indian story line with that guy with the
customer service. This is Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no! That was kind of funny, but other than that, I just didn't like it.
No, I agree. It was in my top 10 worst video for South Park.
Because, I mean, there'll be some episodes in early South Park that are fine, but they don't get me good like some of the other ones. Because I remember I showed my dad the and again, I don't know most of these by title.
I could tell you them if you describe it, I'll be able to tell you.
All right. The first time we see the redneck with the really bright red hair, and it's in the time traveling with the immigrants from the future.
Goobex.
Yeah, I showed him that episode, and holy shit. Like, that's easily, I don't know where that one is for you. That's easily like my top 10 favorite episodos of the series.
Yeah, it's fine. I like Goobex. It's not in my top 10, but it's a good one.
But why don't we all get butt naked?
Yeah.
And up the future, that shit doesn't have you cracking?
I didn't say it didn't. It's funny. It's just there's so many good episodes. It's not in my top 10. I like it. I do like the episode, but it's not in my top 10.
I wonder though if that will be a future where we're all so mixed that the gene pool is kind of like that, where we're all kind of like a lightish brown. Obviously, we won't be speaking rah, 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 but do you think we'll end up having that sort of same pigmentation?
I mean, it's possible. It's been theorized before. It's not just South Park that came up with that, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, South Park, Family Guy, and I'm probably missing out on a lot of good adult cartoons. And American Dad are pretty much, because I couldn't get into the Cleveland Show too much. Maybe I gotta give it a chance. I don't know.
I think the Cleveland Show is massively underrated. I think the Cleveland Show is actually great.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I gotta give it a second chance. I don't know. But I didn't really like certain characters like Rollo. To be perfectly honest, I don't think he's that funny.
I think Cleveland carried it. I like Rollo. I don't have anything against Rollo. But I think for me, Cleveland carried it a lot. Tim the Bear was pretty fun.
Would you say that the Cleveland Show is better than Family Guy and American Dad?
Definitely not American Dad. Better than modern Family Guy, yes. Better than maybe mid-season Family Guy, yes. Better than Family Guy at its prime, I don't know about that.
Family Guy at its prime was really good. I'd say the cream of the crop for Family Guy was probably 4 through 6 or 7.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate to me.
I think. I mean, again, a lot of the episodes, I do watch a lot of these shows, because sometimes I feel like watching a new one, a classic one, I do watch them very out of order, so they do kind of blur. But 4 through 7, I do there were some later ones. I think it was season 9 that had then there were fewer episodes.
I was about to bring that up. That is my overall favorite episode of Family Guy.
It's like top 3 for me. Because I don't know, I mean, that episode is pretty damn great. And it actually had stakes.
Yeah.
They actually killed off 2 long-standing characters in one episode. It was pretty sick. I noticed on TV they cut it.
Did they?
I think it's cut. I think because I can't remember. You know the part where Goldblum's life goes missing for a little bit? There's a whole section of that where they investigate James Woods' basement that's not on TV.
Really?
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know if it's that part in particular, but there's some part of it, I can tell you, I can swear to you that episode is different than from when I originally saw it. Because I've seen that episode probably the most out of some of the other episodes. Like when that episode's on, I will watch it. So I know that there's a difference. It feels like it's cut. I don't know why, but it does.
Well, you know that. Here's the thing. You know that most of the episodes are cut for TV, right?
Well, I know that, but I mean, I know they're edited, but like the way I originally saw it was on recorded TV.
Right. There are jokes. There are jokes though that are cut out of later runnings that, like I'll be like, oh damn, I didn't realize that wasn't in it. But there is actually one instance where I think that the censored version is funnier.
Like when?
So you know that episode where they go up to Quagmire's cabin?
Yeah.
So it's when Peter and like the family goes up there, and then they walk in on Quagmire wearing like geisha makeup, about to have sex.
Oh, and he goes like, "What you eat? What you?"
Yeah. So in the TV version, he does that, and then he goes, "Oh wait, was this the week you guys were supposed to be coming up?" And then it cuts. To me, that is way funnier than the unedited version.
Where he says, "Oh, I'm just practicing."
Yeah, no. He's in the unedited version. He's like, "Oh, is this the week you guys were coming up?" And here I am, face all painted, mid coitus. Like, I just feel like that last little line somehow makes it less funny. Just the abrupt cut with, "Oh, was this the week you guys were coming up?" was way funnier.
I mean, I could see that because that last part is a little bit too explicit and obvious.
It's just like, okay, we get it, we see it. You know what I mean?
It's more like you'd rather hear them get caught in the moment than exactly tell you what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. It's a little bit too direct. I know what you mean there. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, there was, because I do know that the DVDs, they actually do, I think, add some stuff as well. Well, obviously, because they're censored. I know the episode where Peter wins the lottery. Because, like, you know he goes to dinner, and he tells the butler tells him that he's run out of money, and he's like, "All right, give him the ring." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "Lois, I swear to God, I'll cut off your goddamn fingers." So there's little things that get cut out for sure. But lately, I don't know. I feel like if these shows if the newer seasons ever got a DVD release, which is not going to happen, I feel like there wouldn't be any cuts. I just think that they were filmed that way. I don't think they would have gone the extra length.
Did they stop doing Family Guy DVDs? I thought they kept doing them.
Oh no, they stopped doing. You didn't? Yeah, they stopped doing Family Guy DVDs.
When did they stop that?
Around. What was that?
I said when.
Okay, so let me see, because I actually have one of the DVDs to pull out. So. Okay. I don't know if the volumes go by the... So I have season 17 on DVD. It's the one with the cover of, like, you know the episode... Okay, so, you don't watch newer Family Guy, so you probably...
I have not seen season 17, but I know what you're talking about, because I've seen the case.
Yeah, so it's the case where Stewie and Brian are shrunk, and Peter's foot goes about to stop them. That's the last DVD they ever did.
Oh.
So season 17, and I think... Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the DVDs, like the volumes, are actually not like in sync with the actual season. So I don't know if that's like volume 17 or no, that's even season 17. So they have not released season 20, season 18 onward on DVD. Huh. The only way you could watch those, I think, are on Hulu. So those, and I'm assuming that since 20th Century Fox is, absorbed, Disney's not going to care because Disney hates TV shows on DVD. So yeah, no, they also stopped releasing American Dad DVDs a while ago too.
Yeah.
I think the last one they released was the can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember that one, but they stopped releasing that a while ago. South Park, they obviously still continue, but they took a little break.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen the post-COVID specials, the future ones. I haven't seen those. And I haven't seen the season 25 at all. Like, I know that they retconned Token's name to Tolkien.
Yeah, that episode was dumb, I'm not going to lie to you. It was kind of bad.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I can't tell if that's something I care about or if that really pisses me off, because, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I can't...
It's not that it pisses... Look, it's a minor cosmetic change. It's not, like, something to, like, get, like boiled up about. I get it. Like, it doesn't piss me off. It's just...
it's like a boring joke that lasted a little bit too long in the episode because Stan has like this whole like guilt about calling him Token, like after Token character, and they kind of like they don't really do a good job of like making the joke funny, if you know what I mean. Because the whole shtick of the joke is he thought his name was Token. And
and literally everyone else knew his name.
Yeah, and literally everyone knew his name but Stan, and then he tries to make a huge big deal about it. And they try to make it funny and that like awkward, like, oh my god, like I'm trying to make it up for him, but it's not funny. They don't do a good job of making it funny.
Right, and it's like I feel like they already kind of did that joke with the episode with apologies to Jesse Jackson when Randy says
where Randy said the N-word.
Yeah, and then they have this whole big thing where they start calling him nigger guy and all that, like because
and he literally kissed his ass. Apologize.
Like, I feel like they already kind of did that I feel guilty sort of thing with that.
Yeah, that whole white guilt thing that even though it's fake, some people do feel it for some reason.
Yeah.
And they kind of did that better in that episode.
Yeah.
Because in newer South Park, they would never.
That episode's just better as well because it has that scene where Cartman fights a midget.
Oh my god, that is that midget fighting with Cartman. You know, words are like bullets.
You see, children, words are like bullets. Yeah. But like the fight as well, it plays fucking Down with the Sickness when they fight.
I play heavy metal, and Cartman just obliterates that fucking midget. Which I find funny because, you know, you'd expect that. You'd expect that since Cartman's a little bitch, you'd expect him to lose, but that midget lost. And that was it. But yeah, and then also Randy not only is Integrity Farms, but Token's parents are now Integrity Farms. They have their own little weed farm next door.
Yeah, I know, it's like Credigree or something.
Yeah, and now... I mean, I guess the part where Token's dad's acting ghetto is a little funny to trick people, but it's like, they're really trying to sell you on the weed jokes.
And see,
a lot of modern humor is now...
Weed?
Is that when we can't go for the jugular, like for the race or for the sexuality, we go for the dick jokes.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, sometimes it works, but it's very like safe and very kind of like boring. Like you can't really go anywhere with that outside of the obvious pothead joke.
Yeah.
Obvious dick joke. Like what's your take on modern adult humor?
Overall, shit. Overall, it's shit. Like it's usually like they'll either be like a stoner joke, or it'll be like a really basic joke that you've already heard 100 times, or it'll be like you said, dick jokes, fucking be ridiculously violent. It'll be mean and say a bunch of swear words, and they think that makes it funny.
But really, it's just an exaggerated version of just like, you know, drugs and dicks. Yeah. It's not controversial.
No, but like I do think that is something too that you see now is like they won't actually be like controversial, but they'll be really mean and petty. And like a lot of the jokes you'll see now is people who are very insecure making jokes to try and make themselves seem like better and other people seem small and insignificant. Like for instance, I think the best example of this is Velma. All the jokes in that are very clearly designed. Like I haven't actually seen a full episode of it, obviously, because I'm not going to watch that shit. Yeah, but I've seen reviews of it, and all the clips I've seen. It is very clearly just very like hateful, and it's ironic that the left calls the right so hateful when literally all of the humor on the left is just hateful, like actually.
Now that's something I noticed is that even though I've lately come to realize that in media, the left really do not have a general sense of humor, and when they do, it's done out of bitterness.
Yeah.
Like it's like you said, it's like that insecurity because like the Velma show. It's clearly poking jokes at, and not even like it's explicitly not funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where it's like, you know, white people doing drugs. Like, where Velma says one thing is like, if I was a rich white dude, I'd kill everyone. Like, there's no punchline, there's nothing to that. It's just like, and then they make fun of like people doing like the red pill or living in objective reality or making fun of like the woke as if that's supposed to make people who do, you know, believe in objective reality and, you know, don't agree with, like, certain social agendas look dumb and brainless.
Yeah.
Like, they think that's controversial, and they think that they're making people like that look like meatheads, when in reality they're just showing that they're insecure, that they're wrong, and they think if they just have like a funny way of translating it, it'll come out as controversial.
Right.
It's,
yeah, and it's like...
And that... Continue.
You always hear the same jokes, too, from the left. Like, it's always like, oh, but these people, they're so racist. Ha-ha, look, they're racist. Oh, look, they have small dicks. Ha-ha. Oh, look, they hate people. Ha-ha.
He's such a rich white male, he's so insecure. Or low dick energy. Like the whole dick energy jokes are fucking lame.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it's getting really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in that Glass Onion movie I told you to watch, like, there was a joke where, the
Glass Onion looked like shit. Why would you tell me to watch that?
I didn't tell you to watch it. I said I watched it.
Oh, you told me you watched. I thought you said I told you to watch, and I'm like, why would you do that? You fucking you fucking monster.
No, it's awful. I was recommended it, but it ended up being worse than I thought.
Yeah.
There was a joke in there where she's making... By the way, they clearly have an opinion in both the Knives Out movies, which are fucking lame.
It's Jordan Peele. He's not subtle.
Not Jordan Peele. That's not Jordan Peele.
Sorry, Ryan Johnson. I meant Ryan Johnson. Same thing.
One's black, and the other made Last Jedi.
Yeah, but the other made Get Out.
Okay, Get Out's actually pretty good. Like,
no, it isn't. Liar.
That one actually played with its jokes in a non-cringy way.
No, it
I'll
didn't.
disagree with you. I disagree with you.
You're wrong.
Okay, well, if you compare it to most of other Jordan Peele's films nowadays, it's far better.
I don't doubt that.
But anyways, the point is...
My problem with Jordan Peele is all of his movies are super race-baity, and it's basically just like he expects these to be like some deeper thing about racism.
Okay.
Including Get Out. Like, that was his...
That's not... Okay, well, here's the thing. The problem... Okay, well, actually, here's the thing. With Us and Nope, it's actually not those... That's actually not the issues of those films. They have a bunch of other issues.
Yeah, I know. So I've seen... So ER did reviews of all of Jordan Peele's movies so far. And that's where I base most of my knowledge from them on, is his reviews. And Get Out is pretty convoluted and stupid.
I mean, I think it's actually kind of clever. It did not... Look, if you compare it to most other...
Yeah, the plot line about white people wanting to be black people so bad they'll kidnap them and take over their bodies is so subtle.
Okay, yes, but that's kind of... That joke, I feel like translated way better than
okay,
most
but
other...
the thing about Get Out is it's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be a horror film.
It actually was meant to be a horror comedy. It's very clearly a horror comedy.
Didn't look scary or funny to me.
Well, okay, well that's what you got out of it.
Everyone acts like Get Out is such a fucking masterpiece, and I'm tired of hearing it.
Okay, well. Anyways, the point is, the problem with Us was that it also... The thing is with Jordan Peele is that when he gets an idea, he delivers it in the most convoluted way, and very, not art housey, but very like trying to be sophisticated, but with like a slight edge of humor that it doesn't work. Because Us is one of those
I felt
movies,
that was true about Get Out as well, but continue.
I won't agree about Get Out, but with Us...
Get Out is one of the most heavy-handed and unsubtle movies I've ever fucking... Like, I've never seen it.
Okay, it is. I'm not going to disagree about the heavy-handedness. I'm not going to disagree about that. But compared to the shit that comes out today, it pisses me off way less. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
The thing is with Us, there's
but to be fair, I did mean Ryan Johnson when I said Jordan Peele the first time. I just slipped up. They both are just directors I don't care for. So.
And for the most part, outside of Get Out, I'll agree with you on Jordan Peele. But here's the thing with Us is that he kind of has like this weird message of the environment that really doesn't make any sense when you see the ending of it as well. And he also has these weird ways of trying to tell his story. Like, have you seen Us?
No, I've seen reviews of it, but I've never
seen
the
reviews from the ER yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So he has this weird way of trying to tell his stories, like trying to make them look like they're out there concepts, and they're creative, but they're not good.
Again, that sounds exactly like Get Out, but okay.
Okay, well, again, we'll disagree on that.
But again, it's the same criticism I have. It's just interesting to me that you can overlook it so easily with Get Out.
Because with Get Out, I actually like Daniel Kaluuya in the role. I actually kind of liked... Because, look, I've been around people that kind of wish they were trying to be black and tried to act...
Well, yeah, and the thing about Get Out is it's not...
And I kind of like that social... It's kind of funny.
Well, it
thing... doesn't try to, like, guilt trip you. It just tries to poke a joke.
So here are two things.
And if anything... It makes fun of the fact that a lot of people are trying to be black now.
So the point of Get Out, Jordan Peele made it pretty clear, was making fun of white liberals. That is true. He was doing that. He was making fun of white liberals who have white guilt.
Which is funny to me.
But he did want people to think about, like, he said he intended the movie to make white people think about their internalized racism, and he intended for it to make, like, white people and black people to experience it differently. He did say that. That was the intent of the movie.
Okay, that's fair, but it's like you said with Watchmen.
I mean, that's fair.
That way.
Okay.
I mean, he probably intended that. He did intend that if he said that, but I don't look at it from that. I just look at it making fun of people who are insecure about trying to oppress someone else's race, which I find very funny because that's what the whole woke mentality is made up of.
Right, and that is what he was doing with the movie too. Like I said, I know that he was intending to do that, but I just didn't think it was good. Like, again, I've never seen it, but the clips I've seen in the reviews, they looked really bad, really cringy.
That's fair.
Like, the scene where the guy starts spurging out and screaming, "Get out," is supposed to be scary, but to me, I just thought it was retarded.
Okay. That's again, I'm not going to dispute
and the twist and reveal is so stupid.
Look, when I saw the trailers, I thought it was going to be bad, but look, I actually do love Get Out. And again,
Steven.
If you compare it to, and I know it's not really a fair argument because the movie should just stand on its own, but if you compare it to a lot of other race-related comedies or movies, it's not subtle, but it's a lot more clever than them.
If you say so.
I mean, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you rather watch, Get Out over Wakanda Forever, or fucking, or Us? Well, Us doesn't have that as much. Or the new Candyman, where it deliberately, with no subtlety, well, granted, the original had a similar message, but it wasn't as like that, with no subtlety, has a bitterness to just hate white people.
Okay, you're telling me I have to pick from one of these three movies and I have to see it. I guess I'd probably pick Get Out, yeah.
Okay.
But,
and again, I know that's a very kind of like,
but that's not the same. That's not the same as me saying it's somehow good or a masterpiece. Like everyone pretends it's the greatest.
I am aware.
Everyone acts like it's the greatest fucking horror movie ever made, and it's so genius, and nobody ever thought of this before. It's fucking stupid.
I never said that.
I'm not saying you said that. I am saying that is the general consensus around it, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's definitely like, look, I like it, but I wouldn't call it like the next coming of Christ. But I think it's very clever and funny. And I think, definitely Jordan Peele definitely lost his touch because Us and Nope, they don't have that, but they're just so pretentious. Because the problem is that people hype up Jordan Peele and let him believe his own success that they're willing to take anything. And Us, the acting is really bad for the, so I'm assuming if you saw the reviews, you saw clips, right?
Yeah, of course. They had plenty of clips from the movies.
Like the whole Tether or whatever the fuck those people are called, they're acting, trying to be scary, really kind of bad, and the whole mentality of like having another side of you, it's kind of bad. And then Nope was whatever. I think Jordan Peele has talent. I just think that his two latest movies just were not good. I think they were pretentious.
I think Jordan Peele had talent as a comedian. I don't think he can be taken seriously.
I will disagree with you on Get Out, but that's going to be one of my hot takes, I guess.
It's not a hot take because it's too fucking popular.
Well, hot take for you. That's why.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's okay, Steven. You can be wrong. Not everyone can be on my level. I get that.
Very subtle about how you feel.
Yeah. Look, dude, I'm humble. You will see how humble I can be. If you don't know, that's a Donald Trump quote where he says, "I'm humble. I'm very humble. You will see how humble I can be."
I did not know Donald Trump sent that quote.
Yeah.
It sounds very fucking smart, Alec. Yeah, I love it. But fuck, where were we talking about Get Out? See, that's what you did.
I think you were. Well, I think you made your point.
We were talking about Glass Onion.
Right? Yeah, Glass Onion. Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's like, I think, like, with comedy, it's like, I think they just try to seem like they're being controversial by poking fun a lot of the outspoken ideas of, because she literally, because, like, the Black Girl movie literally makes a joke like, oh, you believe in the red pilling and all this and that, and how pro-masculinity, like, it's such a bad virtue, and they, like, dumb down Dave Bautista to make him look like a meathead that lives with his mom. Like they exaggerate that side of things, but they wouldn't want themselves to be exaggerated for comedic expense. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like the side that looks fun at. Okay, I'm just like the left.
Yes.
So I think that's the problem, is that there's a lot of bias, and when comedy has bias, I think that's not really a good thing.
I'm going to disagree with you on this for one little detail, because I think it is impossible for comedy to not have bias, but I think that...
Well...
Let me clarify. So let me say, I think that the problem now with comedy isn't that it inherently has bias, it is because it all has the same bias that has become propagandistic and super warped and extremist. But on top of that, it's all the same. There's no contrarian opinions. Contrarian opinions aren't allowed. And not only all of that, but they pretend they are not biased. They don't even acknowledge that they're biased. That's the problem.
That's true. They don't acknowledge the fact that they picked a side, yet they make fun of people for picking a side and being extremist. And they do push it as if the people making fun of the jokes are good virtue. Which is why I think, honestly, virtue signaling is one of the worst things that's hurting. Probably, I'm sure it's also hurting a lot of other things outside of pop culture, but it's, for me, very prevalent in that as well.
It's okay.
Because when you virtue signaling, you're basically saying, like, this viewpoint's great.
Mm-hmm.
This black person is great just because they're black, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. But that's far from the biggest issue. Right now, we are in a very dangerous time where, I feel like I'm not even exaggerating in saying when I say that the entire collapse wholesale of Western civilization is a very likely thing to happen within the next few years.
Like, a few years, like 3 to 5?
It's hard to say exactly, but yeah, I'd say that would be believable.
I mean, I know you don't have an exact approximation, but damn, really?
Yeah. I'd say even then, like I say, this year we're very close to all sorts of horrible things, and I think that things are going to get much, much worse before they get better, and I think that the average person is drastically unprepared for that, because they don't realize to what extent that things are really fucking bad right now.
Obviously, I know it's a very general... I obviously know you mean that in a lot of ways, what's going on with the world in a lot of areas, but do you mean that in terms of, like, well, like the balloons, or do you mean that in terms of, like, also transgenderism, or do you think
there are several factors. There are several factors. Let me get into it. So, I think that, number one, obviously, China is a big threat, and China has infiltrated our media decades ago, and has strategically implemented bad role models in the media to make men appear weak, women appear strong, and try to masculinize men and defeminize women.
But do you think there was a lot of people here that also tried to be in with that as well?
Yes. That Marxism is super infiltrative. There's plenty of people that are useful idiots or are genuinely agents of it. But let me continue. I'm just getting started. Okay. So there's that. There's the fact that the whole thing with Ukraine and Russia, which we should have no involvement in, Russia saw people moving in on their border. Whether that was perceived or real, he felt a threat near his border, because especially with any talk of Ukraine joining NATO is just basically declaring war to him at this point, I would say. There's that, and we keep getting increasingly involved with Biden's speeches and push from the media and things like that, and sending weapons and stuff over, which I absolutely don't think we should be doing, because we do not want to go to war. We do not want World War III, but we are very close to it.
Money, sending over all that kind of shit over to them.
It's our money, yeah.
That's kind of I don't know how I feel about that.
Our tax dollars are stolen for that all the time, dude. Our tax dollars are also sent to Pakistani gender studies. But not only that, but we continue on this, right? So there's that. Obviously, there's the balloons and stuff. There's TikTok making our people dumber, weaker, and embrace transgenderism, which also makes us weaker, less likely to reproduce. And embrace pedophilia. Also that. All of these things are factored in. There's the World Economic Forum talking about how we need to change the world with the Great Reset, and saying how we need to reset capitalism and how we need to lock down. And how, I'm willing to bet we will see climate change lockdowns in the future, because they keep acting like climate change is a big deal, but it's not. That's just something that's being pushed by the World Economic Forum, the Davos Group, and several other government and private entities that want us to lock down so that they can control us, because it's all about control. In the future, the goal they want is for none of us to be able to drive cars. They want all cars to be self-driving, and then you just rent them through like a phone app, and your phone will track everything you do, as it already kind of does anyway. But
aren't they also trying to push electric cars? Is that where you're going with as well?
I mean, that's part of it. That they want to phase out gas cars so that people only have electric cars. And the electric cars, they'll be able to shut off with a remote. And
that is super fucking scary.
Yeah, and on top of that, they'll be able to shut down the power grid, so you can't charge your electric cars, and you won't have power. There are plenty of things in place to try and control people, and there's also. Like I said, the threat of China and Russia, and obviously North Korea as well. North Korea not as serious of a threat, because they've never really been like a major power, but there is still the threat there. If China invades Taiwan, that's going to be a pretty big deal, because that's where all of our computer chips come from, and everything requires computers now, pretty much. Let's see. With the pushing of transgenderism on children, having them hacked up and stuff like that.
That is like my biggest fear.
The problem is right now there are so many different things going on at once that are absolutely fucking terrible, that are destroying society and will lead to the destruction of society. And I don't know if everyone's going to be prepared when it comes to that, because, well, I know lots of people won't be, because everyone is too busy.
You think you're prepared for it?
Not entirely, but I'm more prepared than some.
But and listen, don't take this the wrong way, because again, I'm also in this camp as well. If I ask this,
okay,
with all of us in society being subjugated to some extent and having to follow the general rules and just LARP, right?
Okay.
What do you think is best to do with these worries?
That is a tough question.
How do we prepare? Because obviously we all can't go around.
To prepare, you got to be increasingly independent. You got to make sure that you have emergency food, I would say, on hand. That is something that everyone should have. I have some. Probably need to get more. Have weapons, obviously. Stock up on ammo. Anything you can do to make yourself self-sufficient. And also just be ready to be able to grab and go if you have to bug out and run away.
And mind you, and this is, and how, and this is, and, well, it probably is plausible with the whole China. Okay, that's very scary. So,
but
do you really think?
Go ahead.
That we are going to have to go on the independent and just move out as if we're everyone for themselves going to survive?
Either that or be slaves, because it's not just China. It's also our own governments are trying to crack down and control us more and more. The COVID lockdowns were a very dangerous thing, because it gave some very dangerous people some very useful information to them that tells them just how much people will put up with, and they can push it with lockdowns and forcing things on people and making it so you cannot function in society without giving into their lockdowns and mandates. That's one thing. And also, the country is so divided by design. The global elites have made people so vehemently against each other. That's why the whole right and left thing is such a big thing, because it's divide and conquer, and you have a bunch of fucking retarded people who think they're intellectuals wanting to push these bad agendas that are very dangerous, and could lead to our downfall. And they think that they're the smart ones. They're pushing forward in law, and they're trying to prevent anyone else from having a say in law. That's why you hear a lot of people say that Republicans shouldn't be allowed to run. And granted, I don't like the Republican Party really either. There's a few that I do like in the party. I don't consider myself a party loyalist of any kind. I consider myself...
Okay.
But there are people who say that Republicans shouldn't even be allowed to run for office, which I think is very scary, to think that you could try and say that a competing party shouldn't be allowed to run. That's fucking crazy to me. That sounds like...
That's a little too one-sided.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it's also dangerous because you're taking away... the crackdown of freedom of speech has been increasingly bad.
I believe that 100% full sail.
There has been like small wins here and there. Like Tennessee recently just passed a law against transitioning children, so that's good. Obviously, there's the parental rights and education bill in Florida, the one that retarded people who don't know what it is call it the Don't Say Gay bill.
Who bitched about it.
Yeah,
even though I didn't read it.
And Utah is actually planning to do a similar law to that, which I absolutely hope passes. And if I get a chance to vote on it, I absolutely will, because. This is dangerous, and people act like the whole trans thing isn't a big issue, where it absolutely is. It's not the only issue, because there are so many things at once, because that's the plan, is the people who are in control don't want to hit us with one little thing. They want to hit us with a bunch of stuff all at once, so that everyone is constantly arguing and not able to focus on protecting themselves and taking care of their family.
I mean, it actually sounds it actually sounds more believable than I think what most people give it credit for, because it's kind of true that we are living in a story that we're being told.
Yeah.
And how this division has to be necessary when it shouldn't.
Well, yeah.
Now people just need to agree on one right ideology.
Right, and the problem is with how divisive things are too, we also severely risk civil war, which obviously wouldn't be good either. Yeah, it's that bad. What's up, Chisu? In Germany was a zoo sexual pride march. Really? Well, there you go.
Oh, right, you're on YouTube.
What's that?
Oh, no, I said you were on YouTube. You?
Did you not know I was on YouTube?
Well, I got the indication because you said, hey, Chisu.
Yeah, well,
Chisu's not in here, so
yeah.
I assume.
Okay, you're saying he's on because you know I've been streaming this whole time, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I thought you knew that. That's why when you brought up that website, I said I never mentioned it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's why you don't want it to be said.
But
it's
it
not
wasn't
just a Discord thing.
Yeah.
But continue.
Where was I? Was that like the
division?
Yeah. So right now, the right and left live in completely different realities that are completely irreconcilable and diametrically opposed.
But, I mean, don't you think it's kind of bad that people on the same planet live in two different realities?
Yes, and that is why we are at danger of civil war, because of those two different realities.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
But do you think, and not to make it sound like this is, and not to put blame or anything, do you think this is both? I mean, obviously, I think there's a lot of more bad habits and influences that, with the whole transgenderism and stuff that, the left pushes and stuff. But do you think this is also like, there's even a tiny bit of fault with the right, or no?
I mean, escalating it maybe, but I also think... Actually, no, I will say the right is at fault because they have not fought back hard enough. Because there has not been enough pushback. Because of that, it has been able to get so crazy. Because every time the left says some crazy thing, the right says, oh, wait, not that crazy thing. Let's compromise on this other slightly less crazy thing. And because they always do that, we get moved further and further left, and it gradually gets worse and worse.
To be fair, I mean, not defending, not speaking up, but to be fair... there are people on the left that will want to kill you for having different viewpoints.
Yeah, there are.
So that's why I understand why some people keep quiet.
But that's also why there's such a big problem. And it's not even just that. It's also politicians on the right will not take a stand on things. Instead, they'll say, hey, slow down, don't go that crazy yet. Instead of saying, hey, no, fuck you, we're doing this instead.
Not taking a step.
Yeah. Instead of progressing things further right, the right always concedes and only goes slightly less far left.
then they don't become what they are in general. They end up
they become left gradually over time, which is how Marxism works, because Marxism is an infiltrate and slowly take over. That's the idea of Marxism. Marx has said that himself, that the idea for that is to infiltrate and change it. That he has said that communism can only work by infiltrating and changing capitalism and overthrowing a capitalist society from within by gradually shifting it. Marx has said that. That's why the left is so crazy with that, because they believe in that ideal.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like infiltration just to absorb, make it fit your own.
Yes.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But doesn't that also go against technically some of their ideologies
No.
of just
No.
wanting to have independence
Leftists,
and representing yourself?
So you mistake yourself for thinking that leftists believe in independence. Leftism is inherently collectivist. Like for instance, communism does not believe in private property. They believe in public property that people are given the privilege to use. There is no such thing as private property. That is the case in communism. Socialists will argue that they are not communists, but what socialism is it is a tool to get to communism. And socialism itself is basically indistinguishable from communism, except for socialists don't admit that they're authoritarian. Communists at least are honest about it.
So a socialist is just in the closet, technically, version of a communist.
Mm-hmm. The planet isn't big enough for both of us to coexist. Optimus Prime to Megatron. Yeah, there you go. Like flesh-eating bacteria. Yeah, they are like flesh-eating bacteria. The ideology is.
But
and you
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Has there ever been an instance where any party, like not just the left but the right, has tried to do something similar?
There are plenty of times that the right has been in the wrong throughout history. One of which being, I think, the Satanic Panic and the Moral Panic in the 90s and 2000s. I think that was anti-free speech, and I think that was bad. But at the same time, I would take that in a heartbeat over what we have now. And also, that was in the past, and I don't think dwelling on it is really a practical thing to do right now when they're in the middle of a very heated culture war.
Damn. Again, that heated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, I noticed it around me, and you could tell it with people around you. I just didn't think that it would get that bad. And there are people who are outspoken about how, you know, if you think this way, you're a bigot, or if, you know, very just anti-capitalism, which, to be honest, I think, and again, I don't know a lot about this, I just think the idea of capitalism is pretty sweet. I don't know how anyone could really hate it. It's literally just building a future for yourself or working hard as possible.
Yes, but
I don't like the idea of giving anyone else who hasn't worked for what I got something just because to even it out.
Based, Stephen, absolutely based. That is the problem, though.
I'm surprised most people don't think that way. That should just be like.
But the problem is people get brainwashed. They get pulled in with emotion. They get attached emotionally, saying, "Look at this poor person who can't survive because these greedy capitalists won't share." Which, again, that's not actually what's going on.
But you can't guilt trip people for the fault of someone else. That's
right. But that's what happens.
Someone who works for what they got should not feel obligated to share.
But the problem is that Marxism is very, very manipulative, and it plays on people's emotions and their good nature to make them want to help others, even if they have to help others by harming others by force. Which I know sounds ass backwards, but it's because they get in so deep with the ideology that they believe that the ends justify the means and that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And they get so brainwashed with that they don't care about the horrific human rights abuses that always occur under communism.
I mean, that sounds pretty fucked up if you're going to hurt someone just to even things out.
Right now I'm currently reading Michael Malice's newest book, The White Pill. It's very good. It's about the rise and fall of the Soviet Union. And reading it, I get to see just how brutal the Soviet Union was. Like, obviously I knew they were brutal, and I knew they killed millions, and communism is the ideology that has killed the most people ever. But if you read it, like, it's so graphic. Like, it's just horrific, some of the things they would do to people. Like I'd heard the term Holodomor before, but I never knew what it actually was until I started reading this book, and it's not good.
Did they torture people?
Well, yeah, they did torture people. That's part of it. But, what the Holodomor specifically was the Soviet Union. Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, but they would send people to the Ukrainian parts of it, right? And they would steal all the farms from the farmers. They would steal their food, and they would come back and check on them regularly to see if they were holding out on food, and they would steal their food. They would have people turn in their neighbors and give up their food. People were starving to death, by the way, pretty regularly. Starvation was really common.
That sounds like an animalistic thing to do, to constantly look at people with their food, make people turn on each other. That's insane. Literally...
Mm-hmm. People were dehumanized and beaten and told that they were being selfish for trying to hoard the food from the people, and other people that were starving were led to hate the other people who were also starving because they were told that these greedy farmers were hoarding food, and that's why there's not enough food, even though these farmers weren't able to produce enough food because it was all being taken. The farms were being mismanaged. They weren't allowed to run their own farms. Again, they were not allowed private property. Private property was considered a bourgeois concept, and it wasn't allowed.
You can't own property?
Yes, that is a big thing in communism, and people act like under communism they're going to be able to do what they want. That's not how it would work. Communism always ends with you doing forced labor and having to end up in bread lines because you're fucking starving to death because communism doesn't work.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up that you can't own property. You have to work on that property to give people, the people that you don't know that may turn on you.
And you get food by getting rations. You're rationed food. Your food is given to you by the government. You don't have a say in what you eat and when. You just eat what they give you.
I don't feel comfortable with that idea at all because they could give me something.
Well, that's where we're headed if things keep going at this rate without some sort of major catalyst to change it.
That sounds insane.
It is.
That sounds like living in a prison.
Yeah, it is. There's a reason I'm so intense when it comes to this shit and why I don't put up with leftist shit hardly at all anymore. Because it's just not practical to put up with it. Because it is dangerous. Here's a good saying that they say about this kind of stuff, right? These people want you dead but will settle for your submission.
So they'll take you as a slave, but not as an individual.
Yeah, and
person.
I'm not saying as a literal slave. Well, I mean, it is literal slavery, but they won't call it that, right?
And even if it is literal slavery, it'll be mental slavery to a degree, if that's not the case.
I'm a Polish-American Catholic from the 80s. I know that the USSR
but
is bad. Yeah, of course you do, Chisu.
When you explain it like this, it does not sound radical or far-fetched. It literally sounds like a scary possible future.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, it is radical that people want these things. That there are plenty of people within our own country that want this, that think that this would be a good future. And
even if there wasn't any force, it still doesn't sound like a good future.
Do you know what the
it sounds like an unfair future.
Do you know what the excuse for all the horrific shit that communism has done? The excuse commies always have?
What?
Oh, real communism has never been tried. They say that.
That's the excuse?
Yeah, they always use that excuse. They always say it's never been tried.
Real communism hasn't been tried.
Yeah, they always say, oh, well, that wasn't real communism. Really? Then why is every communist nation exactly the same? Because it is real communism, because that is how communism works. The same thing when they say real socialism hasn't been tried. It's the same fucking thing.
But, I mean, if the Soviet really did do those things...
And I haven't even scratched the surface. There is so much more they did.
Jesus Christ.
For instance, they would take people's clothes off and throw them out in the snow to freeze to death. They would throw people in these pits in the ground with no clothes while it's cold and snowy outside and hose them down with water so they also freeze to death. A lot of stuff.
Was it for not obeying the rules? Was it for giving them clothes?
It was for either. It was for not obeying the rules. It was for being from what they considered to be an enemy class. They executed people who spoke out against them. You're not allowed to criticize the government in a communist government. You will be executed or put to forced labor camp.
But that sounds like fucking maniacal dictatorship. What the hell is...
That's what communism is, but people will act like it's... And that's what socialism is. Like, again, socialism and communism are effectively the same thing. It's just communism is honest about it. They are the same thing and will always reach the same goal. But people will try and pretend that democratic socialism is somehow better when it is objectively the same thing, just using different methods to get it implemented.
I mean... Look, there's one thing about charity if it's voluntary, but you shouldn't force people, especially to that degree, to go out of their way for someone else. That's being fucking insane.
Good one, Corbin. Corbin came in and said, communism is good. I approve of it. sounds like the stuff the Maruda claimed Japan did in alleged 731. I mean, yeah, it's similar. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff.
I mean, it makes me wonder, since China's a communist country, if they do things like that.
Want to have sex with old MILFs in your location? Click this link. By the way, I'm probably going to... So this is a Redeye Raw, but I'm probably going to start at the segment when Horizons showed up and also re-edit the audio with some new visuals into a shit show later, just so that this will also be a shit show.
Okay.
Just so you are aware. So, I mean, it's up on YouTube either way, both times, but there's two kinds of... There's two kinds of socialists, the naive, everyone will be equal, and the realistic, I'm going to use this to take over. Yeah, exactly. Socialism and communism are a distinction without a difference. One of them is honest.
What's with people wanting to be equal? Why do you want to be someone's equal? Like, wouldn't you just want to be your own person and be, like, the best you can be? I mean, I kind of like the idea of capitalism where you could build your own future and
I agree,
make
Steven.
as much money if you want, if you work for it.
I agree, Stephen. That is very based. But the problem is most people are manipulated by their emotions into thinking that everyone has to be exactly the same as them.
That's called being a fucking clone in a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking shit, but... I just don't understand how most people cannot agree.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, dude. And also, part of the problem is that the Marxists infiltrated the American education system decades ago. And so it is hard-lined in. We have been taught all sorts of falsehoods about history, and also taught all sorts of falsehoods about ways to think and how forms of government work, that it has been ground into us ever since we were children to believe this stuff. And that has been there since...
Is that why colleges are kind of, like, very, like... biased and also kind of a shit waste of time if you really think about it to a degree?
Yes, but it's not just colleges. They infiltrated elementary schools, high schools, middle schools. The thing is it started out more subtle. They would still push this agenda, but they would be more subtle about it when we were younger. When I was in school, they were still pushing this agenda, but now they are just outright open with it and just don't deny it. Back then, they used to at least somewhat deny it.
But now it's just become blatantly obvious.
Yeah, now they are no longer covert.
And you kind of see it with stuff like, and going outside of, like, communist mindset, going to, like, gender stuff like that, they really try to push that on kids in elementary school.
And so the thing is you are acting like that those are not connected. Those are absolutely connected.
Well, I'm just putting them up as if they're from
and
the same
get it.
source, like different topic-y.
Yeah, but the thing is they are connected. Part of the idea is to make people weaker so they are easier to subjugate in a communist regime.
By making people mentally, genderly confused.
That too, yeah. My dad is blue-pilled and thinks FDR was the guy who stopped the Depression with his New Deal. Yeah, that sucks, Chisu.
Well, I'm sure there's other reasons why they're trying to push trans. It's not just the only reason. There's probably some crazy people who are genuinely delusional.
No, but yes, but that's also true with communists. There are plenty of people who follow communism who don't understand the true nature of it and are led to believe that it's this great thing that'll be all sunshine and rainbows when they don't realize that it'll be millions of people starving to death on a daily basis and it will be forced labor.
So they just have a false idea of what to expect, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's also not very good.
No,
but
it's not.
Do you think that could be changed over time if certain people in power realize the effectiveness of it? Or, again, do you think even then they wouldn't care?
I would hope that it is changeable, but I think that there are a lot of problems with it. Happy Fan changed his name. What is that? Is that you? Are you Happy Fan Bonnie 6001? Is that you? Okay, it is you. Okay, I thought so.
That is fucking crazy.
Yes.
Holy shit. But do you think more people are kind of like smelling the coffee a little bit, if you know what I mean?
Yes, I think there have been small victories with that. I think people are slowly waking up to an extent. I think that there are good things that have come. I think that there have been small wins here and there, but the problem is I don't know if that'll be enough, and it might be too little too late. I hope it's not. I think we should take all the victories we can. I think that we should try to be optimistic, but it's very hard to remain optimistic in a world that is so down.
what do you think people should do currently?
Well, I'd say, number one, like I said, stay educated, prepare yourself, stockpile emergency food, ammunition, and be ready to bug out if you have to run.
But, like, to prevent?
To prevent, the average person, I mean, again, educate yourself, educate your friends,
Change the mindset?
Change mindsets, yeah, but that's, again, it's really hard to say what the individual can do at this, because it's so widespread and bad.
And do you think it's also because we've always been subjugated as a society that we can't really
Yes.
do anything without getting into trouble?
Mm-hmm. My dad thinks AI is a demon. Well, that's stupid. But yeah, no, there's some things that definitely make me worried, and it's hard to have hope for the future. I try, and again, I do try to stay optimistic when I can.
I know it's going to sound really naive for me, granted, as much as, because even though you know more about this than me, but I like to be optimistic. I think most people have good intentions just with bad executions, even though they're bad out there.
I think that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and it doesn't matter what someone's intentions are when they have a gun pointed at you.
Well, obviously, I can tell.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying even figurative guns. Like, if people want you destroyed, I don't care if they have good intentions.
Well, no, and you shouldn't, because, it's either them or you at that point. But I think if they have good intentions, it's easier to change their mind.
I disagree. I think if they have good intentions, it's actually harder to change their minds. Because they are so wrapped up emotionally and think they're doing a good thing that they are so stubborn they will not change their mind.
That they're that neurotic?
Yes. And I think that they're also insecure, and when you bring it to their attention, they will lose their shit, and their brain won't compute, and they will just double down, like Valakai. I'm not going to bring him into this for very long, but that is true.
Okay, that is fair. But, damn.
Yeah, I try to be hopeful, and again, we should look at the victories that there have been for people. Like, there have been good victories, there have been good movements, and do
you really think 3 to 5 years it'll result in violence?
I didn't say that. You said that number, and I said it was plausible. So,
well, I only say that because I know you didn't give an exact estimation. I'm just saying because
it's very hard to estimate that sort of thing, especially since I'm obviously no expert per se, quote unquote. Although I don't really like that term because a lot of people who claim to be experts are using that as an appeal to authority fallacy, where they're just saying, "Look, I'm an expert. Listen to me."
Right.
But the problem is obviously that sort of thing. There's so many factors. It's really hard to put a time frame on it.
Do you think, and I know I'm not trying to sound naive, do you think a lot of people will just still stay bitter and at their homes and not do anything about that because a lot of people are just pussies and will just be bitter and end up being weak?
Yes.
And something bad happens?
Yes.
Or do you think nothing will happen and everyone will just be bitter and no progress will be made?
I think a lot of people will fall in line, and part of the problem is people will just do what they're told.
Or do you think something will happen we won't even notice?
That's also things already are happening. Like, for instance, have you seen all those crazy train derailments going on around the country, putting toxic chemicals in the air?
No.
Well, there's been a lot of those. Ohio's the most well-known one recently. And I personally think that this is a planned, controlled thing.
Damn.
I escaped gender issues. Yeah, you did, Chisu. I'm not saying that there's no hope for anyone. And again, I think that you should still have hope. And again, I try not to go too up the deep end into despair, but there are lots of things that make me very worried. And again, I try not to. I really do, because it's really hard. But it's really hard. My dad pissed me off.
Be aware of it, but I still think that. Do you think we're going to be alive to see the consequences?
Absolutely.
Oh shit.
My dad pissed me off by saying AI was possessed by demons, so I went ghost hunting in my house and played Charlie Charlie in hope to summon a demon. That's a weird thing to do.
That'll show him.
The train explosion was a couple hours from where I live. Yeah, I know, Corbin. That's crazy.
Damn.
All right.
But that's fucked. I mean, again, I kind of hope it doesn't happen. I really don't. But Damn.
Yeah.
Do you think that while all this distrust is happening, do you think it's going to be also easier for us to be manipulated by external forces?
Yes. I'm also going to put a poll on here. Charlie is stupid. If he says no, does that mean he's not there? Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, yeah, but do you think that we're the only country in the world that's probably going through something like
this?
Oh,
fuck no. I was not saying that. It's the entire planet.
Damn.
I'll put this in there, too. Why the hell aren't you playing a game? Corbin, calm your tits. I am posting a poll right now for what I do next.
Why, are you going to stream a game?
Yes.
Holy shit.
But I'm going to probably end this stream to do that. I did this, Corbin, because I was bored and had nothing else to do.
Well, this was certainly enlightening. I mean, part of me also has the feeling that a lot of people, since a lot of people on any side of anything don't have a lot of motivation or convictions, which is also a problem, but also a positive in this case, to not do anything. And that while something may not happen physically, it could happen internally. We wouldn't notice.
Okay.
I think that's probably, again, this is coming from me, so with a grain of salt. But just going by human nature and how we're just easier to kind of like stay in place, which is sad, but it's true. It's probably going to happen more internally. What do you think?
What was the question? Sorry, I missed part of it.
That even if it doesn't happen physically, like physical civil war, I think people are more easier to be LARPing and subjugated, that it will happen, slowly, internally.
I don't know.
And how we fall in line without even noticing it, just sort of blurs in.
Well, yes.
So that, I think, is a little, again, coming from me, mind you, but still.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's probably going to happen. That's still fucked, though. I mean, I think most people, again, like I said, intend good. I just think that executions is where we kind of fuck up as people. Which is kind of scary.
Don't finish the poll until everyone corrects themselves.
Let me see what kind of fucking poll you put up for the game. Let me see. Let me do another batch of I don't see a poll on your channel.
It's on the stream itself.
Oh, okay. On a side note, I saw Burt Cocaine.
Yeah, good episode.
Jesus fucking Christ, Courtney Hate.
Oh yeah.
That was fucked. That was funny though.
Yeah. All right. See you later, Bonnie 6001.
I love the part where Courtney Hate brought in like the engine chief dude.
Uh-huh.
And like she forced him to watch her strip naked, and he was like petrified.
Yeah, and it fried his brain so much that he believed her. Or he believed she was a wonderful person. But my favorite part is when Beaner interviews her, and he's like, he's like talking about how, tell me how you didn't do it, and she's like, oh no, I didn't. And he's like, cool.
Yeah, because Beaner just doesn't care throughout the entire episode.
Uh-huh.
That part's funny.
Your next poll should have Silent Hill 2 on it. Yeah, well, I can only put so many options, so that was part of the problem.
I also think I saw another episode where I think it was Bones and Sarge and Pedro were in like a mystery van.
Yeah, that's the episode Sherlock Bones. It's the first episode with Sherlock Bones in it. I love Sarge and Friends on Related Note. Well, glad you enjoy it. It's a fun show to make.
That episode was kind of funny with like the oh no wait going back to Burko King. One of my favorite part was in Homina. How do you say his name?
Homino Fuck You.
Homina Fuck You. He goes after the monsters.
Mm-hmm. The goblins, how he just starts slaughtering the goblins.
The goblins with the censored kicks, and he just like shoots them and shit. That was kind of funny. He's like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy," and he just fucking
and
destroyed him.
The whole point with it too is like how it has nothing to do with anything else in the episode. He just goes and slaughters an entire village of goblins for no reason.
That was funny.
Have you voted in the poll, Steven?
Oh, let me see. Well, I'm worried about putting up the stream up because I'm doing this through Discord. I don't want it to be like a double echo.
I can mute you temporarily if it does that.
Actually, wait, I see this. Duke Nukem Forever, Fallout. Which Fallout would you be playing?
That would be a second poll. Corbin really wants me to play Lisa.
What is Lisa?
It's that RPG I played last time I streamed a game.
Okay, I wasn't there for that, so maybe I'll just click that just to see what it is. Alright, there you go.
Alright.
Alright, well there you go, Corbin.
Tell him what Lisa is. It's a RPG that's post-apocalyptic and like it's really dark sense of humor and stuff, so it's a good one. So I'm going to end this poll, and Lisa wins 50%. Fallout was at 33, Duke Nukem was at 16, and Morrowind was at 0, surprisingly. But I guess it's because Andy's not here to rig it. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop this stream. Is there anything else you want to say before we end this, Steven?
No, just, you know. I don't fucking know.
Alright, wise words.